Now that you got your hook, your slip knot, I like to take my end yarn and hold it against my hook. You should start until you figure out how long you're good at weaving your ends before you do slip knot, taking your yarn, wrapping it twice around your hand. That gives you a good length to be able to weave in yarns. I don't typically need that much, so I know I only need a couple inches. If you're good at eyeballing measurements, 6 to 10 inches, 6 inches is usually enough. 6 to 10 is usually what people do. Alright, so there's my slip knot. My end yarn goes against my hook. My working yarn comes off the skein. I'm doing it right-handed, so my working yarn is in my left. I hold my hook like this. Some people will hold like this. I'm going to hold mine like this. This is much comfortable for me. This is also how I hold my yarn. It comes up from the bottom of my fist up to the top. I wrap it around my index finger for my tension. Alright, so start making our chain. We're going to take our hook, and you can either take your hook in under the yarn or take your yarn and wrap it around your hook. What I do is I take my yarn here and I help it. The yarn that's already on the hook goes up and over the yarn we just wrapped. So again, we're going to take our yarn, wrap it around our hook, take this loop that's already there, and the yarn we wrapped, see, it's going to go up against the little hole in the hook. It's going to go up and over. That's 2 chains. Take our yarn, wrap it around. This yarn we just take is going to go in the little nook, and the loop we already have is going to go up and over. There are rings and tools you can to help you with tension. This is actually, once I get going, how it ends up wrapping between my fingers. And you can see it kind of intertwines, and that's how I get my tension. I just wrap and pull, wrap and pull, wrap and pull. So mine's a cross between my finger flicking the yarn around and my hook going in, so it's at the same time. Yarn goes around, so this hand brings yarn around while this hand brings the hook, so at the same time they kind of meet in the middle. And pulls through the hole. Wrap around, wrap around, wrap and down and in through the hole. And you just keep doing that, and that's your chain. Oops, I dropped it. That's okay. And if you don't like your chain, you just take it and you can frog it, and there goes your chain. And start again. I'll do it left-handed this time. Let's see. Left hand's going to be a little more difficult for me. Alright, let's see. Wrap around. Bring the loop, at this point it's my slip stitch, up and over my hook. Now I have my first chain. Wrap around, bring the loop I already have there, up and over. As you can see, my yarn's splitting a little bit. Wrap around, up and over. Wrap around, up and over. Now, if you're just starting, you're probably going to hold it more like I am this way, since I don't typically do left-handed. If I do this a little longer, I will get into a more rhythmic way, and this won't be so cumbersome, but that shows it both ways. As you can see, my chain's a little bit more uneven this way, which is fine. Now the other way to hold it, I'm going to go back to my right hand just because it's easier, is in a downward method. Again, this is not my normal way, so they wrap around. You pull more up versus down. One is the continental method, and one is, I believe, called the American method. Just like when you hold pencils, there's slightly different grips. If you learned crochet first, then knitting, you can hold it one way. If you learn knitting first, then crochet, you can hold it a different way, most likely, depending on what you're most comfortable with. You may decide a completely different way. For myself, I like it this way because I typically hold my pen like this. This is not. Oops, see it? I split the yarn. I pull this up camera so I can see it better. There we go. Okay. This is another way to hold it. So you could try holding it how you typically hold a pencil and see if that helps you. Find whatever is most comfortable and go with it. You may decide that this is the best way for a little bit, and then you come across a different way you want to hold it. And there are different size hooks and grips and hooks with handles to them, and there's the egg-shaped ones, the interchangeable tips, and different things that you may decide to use. And I split that one. And it will change how you hold them. And that is how you do your chain. And if you look, the chain kind of resembles a braid when you hold it flat. But when you hold it this way, you see what we'll be working in for our rows later.